Nothing much, man. Testing this nice call-in system. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How's your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was beautiful, man. How was yours?
No, it was good. I ate twice my weight in turkey, but you know, it was all worth it.
There you go. Did y'all go anywhere? Y'all stay local?
Nah, we just stayed local. Uh, Mom cooked a little 18-pounder for just two of us,
Jesus.
and yeah, and about as many turkey sandwiches as I could stand.
Yeah, it
But it
gets
was
old.
good.
Yeah, it gets old after a minute, though.
Yeah, it does. But other than that, I enjoyed a few days off, so
Shit. Me too.
nice one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in town, or are you out of town, or?
No, I'm at the house, man. I'm in the studio. I'm working
I
on.
mean, but Thanksgiving.
Oh, we stayed in town. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't do anything major.
Yeah.
Just kept it simple. Gavin had ear surgery on that Monday, so we didn't want to do
Oh
anything.
yeah, that's right.
Turned out to be a pretty easy, slick job.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was it just like outpatient, or?
Uh, yeah, it was just, in and out that day. They had to go in there and repair a hole where he used to have a tube didn't grow, tube came out, but the hole didn't grow up.
Oh, so just like had to repair his eardrum or something?
It's like a little hole that they used to put 'cause he'd get ear infections and stuff and let it drain.
Yeah.
And so the tube fell out and they took a little of that sweet fat meat off the back of his earlobe and
Ah.
stuck it in that hole and sealed it up.
Oh, okay.
Which was pretty amazing because typically they cut the whole ear off to do that. And I always,
What?
yeah, that's what I said. I'm like that. I was like, that's a standard procedure, doc. He goes, yeah, you cut the whole ear and lay it over, and that's the only way you can get to that hole. And I'm like, well, you put the damn tube in, and you didn't have to do that. Why do you got to take the whole ear off to get to the same hole? And but now the way they do it is they do a refractory style surgery, and it's all the shit you did in high school that you looked at your buddy and said you'd never use.
Yeah.
You ever take a clear glass of water and you stick something in it and the damn pin or something, whatever you stick in there, it bends. Well, they do,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So what they do is they fill that damn ear up about quarter way, halfway with water, shine light on it, and they can see around the corner to work around and hit that hole.
Holy crap.
That's what I said. Science, bitch.
Yeah. That's right.
That sounds like damn. So I thought it was
That's
pretty neat, man.
Yeah, that is. So what type of calling system are you using?
We're doing Hangouts, Google Hangouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, how's it sound?
It sounds good. Occasionally there's I can hear myself, but kind of like almost a digital type echo.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real strong. It's real faint, but
Yeah.
maybe
But
just a little bit of feedback. But
well, as we get better with this thing, hopefully the better equipment we end up getting, the better we'll do. That's the direction we're going.
well, yeah. Well, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Dave's funny. His stories are hilarious.
He's crazy as shit, man.
Yeah. And I need to get caught up on it because between you, Joe Rogan, and another podcast I listen to, and I don't have enough time in the damn day.
Well, we do appreciate you calling in and leaving that message, though. I got a big kick out of that. It was pretty funny.
Okay, good. That was like I saw the announcement, and I sat there and thought about it, and I'm like, that was the first story that came to my head
Mm-hmm.
about the show, and I was like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Okay.
So I called
Well,
called in, and
well, you know some sexy senoritas, man. You need to get one y'all need to come up with some sort of intro, and I'm
okay,
looking for a show intro. And
okay.
find one of those little senoritas that's got the sexiest voice that you know, and
Oh,
have
okay.
her call in and do a sexy intro. Keep it under 30 seconds. Just something
Yeah.
like just something that's just hot when just coming in on the show. Because what I want to do is I
Yeah.
want to take the music out, because the music's kind of
Mhm.
long. I'm going to take the
Yeah.
music out and I want to hit it with something, just Dave wants a sexy intro. I kind of wanted to leave it open for everybody so they could be funny, serious, or sexy, whatever they wanted to do. And
Yeah.
but yeah, man, if you can lock down one of those little sexy senoritas and
Okay.
that you hang out with and say, look, my brother's got this show and we got to do him an awesome intro, and just call in
Okay.
and let them do it. And we don't have nothing to give her now, but but we'll, if nothing else, she'll have bragging rights.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that I've been trying to, come up with, something serious. I knew y'all weren't going to be able to use anything like that. I just thought it was hilarious to call in and do that.
Well, I told Dave about it, and that's why I was going. He hadn't heard it yet, but I told him about it, and he was like, "Who the fuck is I led?" And I knew it was you because I thought about it. It's like 713. That's Texas. And I had to listen to it a couple times then to go look at my phone. I was like, "Yeah, that's who that was." And I started laughing, but it took me a second at first. I was like, "Who is that?" And and we hadn't got many, but that was pretty funny. You were the first one out of the gate, so.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you hit first, but yeah, man, it's then I eventually ended up telling Dave who it was because it was driving him nuts. He goes, I wonder who it was.
Oh, okay.
But we will probably try to get you to call in or something. You can do the whole voiceover or whatever. We won't have to say you're my brother on there, but we'll just.
Yeah. See, and it kind of pains me that y'all are able to do, like, I ain't close by and
Mhm.
able to, like, participate, because, like, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Well, shit, man, you can call in. That's the whole purpose of
Yeah.
this thing, man. What we'll do is if we're doing something good and that I think that you'd be interested in, whether we're talking about
Yeah.
science, we try to stay away from religion and politics,
Yeah,
but
that's a good idea.
best we can. But if we're talking about science or we're talking about whatever that I think you're interested in,
Yeah.
I'll kind of give you a heads up. And we typically, as a group, we do middays on Sundays, and
Yeah.
it's just a good relaxed time for most people. And but
Yeah.
hell, man, we'll have you call in, dude, and you can talk for 5 minutes or 45 minutes. It doesn't matter. And
Oh, that'll be good.
and you can just be, a regular guest of the show.
Yeah. See, that'd be awesome.
We're trying to raise some money, and hopefully, our plan is to go full video after the first of the year sometime.
Do
And
y'all want a particular video platform? Do y'all want to do YouTube, or how are you
well,
going to do it?
we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. That's I listened to it on iTunes, but yeah, I saw the video channel.
Well, as long as you're streaming, you can
I
stream a
don't
live
know if
video through YouTube, but now I think he streams through his web page, and because we have our web host service and stuff like that. And I'll have to. You probably know a
yeah,
lot better than me. Um,
yeah,
I've been very fortunate. The guy I work with, his name's Steven. He's a
yeah,
guru with all this stuff for the most part.
yeah,
When I say that guru, to some people that are gurus, he'd be like, pretty decent, but he's like really ridiculously smart. His dad works in radio.
yeah,
He's worked in radio before.
yeah,
And so he builds multiple sites. And there's a lot of things I don't know that I'm learning, and
yeah,
he's turned me on to like all this software and gear, the best thing to do for my budget and all this good jazz. And he's been a great help. It's
yeah,
but I don't know if I'm there yet. Though I got to get this thing making some money, before I can spend too
yeah.
much money. It's a fun hobby. So
Okay.
I'm running pretty good. I'm pretty frugal. Well, we're trying to get good guests on too. I got Eric Paulson's supposed to call into the show. He just had
Oh, really?
oh hell yeah, I got that worked out. He just had back surgery though, so he's kind of down and out right now. I was
Yeah,
I was actually hoping to get him right before Christmas, and
yeah,
one of my coaches, Chris, who's been in the fight game for since the '90s. He's like the
Yeah.
godfather of MMA in Birmingham. He's one of the
Yeah.
first promoters, but he was going to come on, and we were going to, and him and Eric are like long time friends. They've been friends since the '90s. They like call each other all the time, and
Oh,
so
okay.
he was going to the three of us were going to sit down and do a podcast, and I was going to dig deep on my show prep, and I was going to talk to him about things that way out of the normal. How'd you get into it? What made you?
Yeah.
I wanted to dig deep. Like he's like good friends with Dan Inosanto. Like he goes over and just walks in the door. He didn't have to. He's
Oh, wow.
yeah, him and Dan. And in the story, we were over in Atlanta. We got to a good story. He was sitting there and I was sitting there and Chris was sitting there and his phone starts ringing. He goes, "Hold on, I gotta take this." And it was Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo was calling him. It was right before he was about to do the rematch with Gracie on the Metamoris,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah.
calling Eric, going, "Hey man, I just want to schedule in some time to work some leg stuff with you before my thing on Metamoris." That was, and we were all sitting there, and it was like kind of funny. It was kind of surreal. It's like Eddie just calling Eric, and they're all sitting next to me, and just funny
Yeah.
stuff. And it's the same
Yeah. That's.
when I was eating. I was up in Maryland. I was sitting. Pedro Sauer was sitting next to me. Mika Cervaz. I can't pronounce his last name for shit. But anyway, I was sitting at a table in Maryland after the Hickson Gracie seminar, and
Hmm.
I'm sitting there and I'm looking to my left and looking to my right, and it was like a fucking who's who of Brazilians, sitting there,
Yeah.
and it was funny. And the only reason I was even at that table because it was after the seminars because guy I trained with Steve, he's good friends with like he's doesn't just go to the affiliation thing. He actually knows a bunch of them. So he was like 150 however many people was at the seminar. There was like 15 of us sitting at dinner. He's like, "Where are we
Yeah.
going to dinner at?" And I just got drug into
Yeah.
it. So it was kind of funny. One of those, those surreal things that you just kind of look around and just kind of
Yeah.
grin. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I wouldn't even like. I wouldn't even have the balls to like speak. That like what the hell am I going to tell them? Say to them. I'll just listen and grin like a shit eating grin on my face. I'll just nod my head like a fucking moron.
Yeah,
Sitting
and
in great company like that.
yeah. Well, this one guy, and I can't even remember his name, and he's not really like a who's who, but he's been in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, most of his life. But he was laughing, and they were telling stories, whatever, and he was talking about damn Hickson's last fight. Him and Hickson, and he was showing a picture, and like you see the picture, he was like a kid, like just young as shit,
Yeah.
and he's standing on the edge of
Yeah.
the ring, and
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, Hickson told me I could have his gloves because that was going to be his last fight, and he goes, things
Yeah.
got crazy. I never did get those damn gloves. he goes, I was going to
Well.
mess with him about that today. He's talking about,
Yeah.
and but yeah, it was just funny. It's funny to hear those stories. I mean, they didn't. And what was even crazier is they didn't really tell a lot of war stories. They were talking about. I think at the time they were talking about that crazy female Brazilian president they had. That how crazy shit was
Oh
going
yeah.
on at the
Yeah.
time. It was before they ousted her ass. So they were all
Yeah.
talking about that. And I tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating than sitting in a group that speaks two languages and they flip flop on languages on you and
Yeah.
they don't do it on purpose. It's just like
It's just.
what they do.
Yeah. I mean, that's the world they live in. Working. Between Brazil and America.
Yeah, and you're just like, what the fuck are y'all
They.
talking about? You're just catching bits and pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. That sounds. I mean, that sounds pretty damn cool. Speaking of grappling, have you been able to catch any of those quintet events
Mm-mm.
by Kazushi Sakuraba?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you need to check it out. Just Google it or check it out if there's any clips on YouTube. It's like it's an awesome. Have you heard of it or know the concept?
No, I'm looking it up right now. Hold a second. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's an event. It's got 4 teams, and like 2 teams will go up against each other, and it's like a 5-on-5. 2 guys will grapple for however long the time frame is, and like it's a win by submission. If the time runs out, both of those guys lose, okay? And then the next 2 guys on the team fight. If the one guy gets a submission, he goes in and fights the next guy on that other team, and he keeps fighting and he keeps fighting until he gets submitted or there's or time runs out.
Okay.
So one guy can technically beat that whole team if he's good, just depending on how things go. But in this last event, it was Team Polaris, Team 10th Planet, Team Alpha Male, and God, who's that other team? I can't remember the name of the other team, but anyway, like there was a match against Uriah Faber and Kazushi Sakuraba. There was a match, Gordy Ryan versus Josh Barnett. And
I bet that was good.
Oh, Gordy Ryan mopped the floor with him.
Really?
Yeah, he submitted him quick. And as a matter of fact, Gordy Ryan submitted every damn body he fought that night. He beat like 3 guys on one team and then like a couple of guys on the other team.
Damn.
In the finals. It's an interesting concept, and the way that it's run, it's a focus on offense because they take away. I mean, there's no points, but you're only allowed so many like points given for stalling. So you can be one person can be disqualified if they get like 3 points for stalling.
Yeah, you don't realize how big Sakuraba is until you see him rolling with Josh Barnett, who's big as shit. And
yeah,
I'm watching that video now.
Yeah,
They're doing like a little play thing, mini grappling match before Quentin 3. But no, I actually didn't hear about it. Man, hell, I need to get you to call in when, well, I can't do that if he's calling in. I hadn't figured out the multiple call deals yet when old Eric comes in.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get that figured out by the time that goes down. But yeah, I mean, hell, you keep up with this more than I do. Hell, I'm too busy on the mats, keep up with what's going on.
Well, yeah, yeah, it's man, I mean, well, because I got a subscription to Fight Pass.
Okay.
So,
cool.
So they got the Eddie Bravo Invitational, and then they, of course, they got this quintet event, and then they got other stuff. I think they got some Grappler's Quest stuff on there too, and so there's an endless amount of stuff that I can watch on there. So try to watch as much as I can. I like the no gi stuff much better just because a lot of it's
faster.
A lot of it's faster and more action packed. Than just the standard tournaments.
Yeah, you know who Craig Jones is, right?
Yeah.
He came and trained with me, trained with us. I got some good pictures with him. He was a fun role. And we did a little seminar. He did a little seminar at our place, and I got to roll with him first while he's nice and fresh. And he was polite to me. I will say that, but
yeah.
It was a lot of fun. You always know when you're fixing to get somebody good because their whole demeanor changes. So I was I went to set in. I can't remember if it was I can't remember what I was setting in, but like he just looked at me, his whole face changed, and boom, 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 he was moving, and I laughed, and he laughed, and we both laughed because I was like and he was like, yeah, I saw it too, I was out. Man, he wasn't gonna let me tap him, but we were playing. It was, it was just, he was polite, I was polite. It was a lot of fun, but he's a really nice dude. I like him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hopefully he comes
That's
back.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, congrats on your brown belt, man.
Oh man, appreciate it. I feel like I've been a purple
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. I mean, how long have you been a purple belt?
I don't even know. Probably not long in the sense of a gi.
Yeah.
I trained no gi before I ever put it for a good while before I ever put a gi on, and then
Oh, okay.
I started training with Chris and Todd, and put a gi on. I guess about
Yeah.
6 years ago or so, and just going through the motions. So I've made, I guess, as if 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 you were to look at it as far as if I just walked in and put a gi on, never trained before, I've made it to brown pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
6 years, but so I'll have my black hopefully within the 8 year mark.
Okay.
Which,
Shit. That'll be awesome.
yeah, it's better than the average is 10 plus.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll have my black in the 8 year mark. I'm gonna start doing some submission only tournaments probably next year. Um,
Okay.
just to test my metal and see
Yeah.
how that goes and
Yeah.
legitimize my brown belt, if you will.
Yeah. Hey, sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I heard you briefly talk about, having to get that rolling with that young wrestler guy.
Oh yeah, man, I got two guys. I got this one guy, and it's a funny story. I don't know if you caught this or not, but the one guy, he's 29, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be a who's who, man. He was a collegiate All-American wrestler, super nice guy,
Yeah.
smart, big, strong, learns quick,
Yeah.
and uh, and he's only been doing jujitsu for a year, okay?
Yeah.
And we had a local tournament here, which is pretty good size. I mean, it's actually gotten really big, and he went in. Of course, they knew that he was a wrestler, so they wouldn't let him compete in white belt, so they made him compete in blue belt. And
Yeah.
he mopped the floor, gi no gi of that, and then he turned
Yeah.
around and he competed in the absolute division. So that means
Yeah.
you can go in any weight class, any belt rank,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he won. He won the gi and the
Wow.
no gi. That's a white belt.
Wow.
He beat this one guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he beat this one guy that. Now, in all fairness, the guy's smaller than him. And the
Yeah.
guy's a brown belt. I think a three-stripe brown belt, and 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 Jake just went through him in gi and no gi, and to the point where the guy that puts on the tournament is the brown belt's coach, and because the
Yeah.
brown belt has won the IBJJF Worlds in Vegas, because he got beat by a white belt, he won't let him compete in the small tournaments anymore because he said it tarnished his reputation because he got beat by a white belt.
Wow.
I mean, that's how serious they take it,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
and
Definitely.
and Jake's like, I don't give a shit about the color of the belt I got on. He goes, I just, he's got that wrestler's mentality, he's like,
Yeah.
it's just whoever's on the mat, let's go for it, and
Yeah.
but he's gonna be, dude, he's awesome, he's a tough guy, man. He can go and he can mop the floor with a lot of people, no matter their rank.
Yeah.
So he'll
Wow.
he'll be a who's who.
Yeah. That reminds me of BJ Penn going to judo tournaments as a judo white belt, but of course, he's a brown belt, and he was Brazilian jiu-jitsu at the time, and everybody on that judo mat.
Yeah, just hammering them.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, yeah, the wrestlers are natural grapplers, and they will learn it quick.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't hurt that he runs a wrestling school too.
Oh yeah,
I mean, and that's what he does for a living. So I mean,
yeah,
and that was my whole thing. I was like, the guy that got beat, the brown belt, he shouldn't have. He wasn't too torn up about it. He was disappointed, but
yeah,
it really, you're not comparing apples to apples. It's not a true white belt. So But I mean, he could easily compete decent in the brown belt level, in any tournament.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. It's just grappling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I keep wanting to get in one of these schools down here, but I just never have the time or the chance to go. And I put in like on the website, for some information at one school, but they never, called me back. But now I'm getting emails, from them like, "How was your free class?" And I'm like, "Man, y'all ain't even call me back. What are you talking about?"
That was my free class. Holy smoke!
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
who are most of who are some of the schools around there?
Uh, 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 we have one Gracie Baja school, Draculino.
Ooh, Draculino.
Huh?
He's pretty good, man. Is that
Yeah, he's got a school not far from me. And that's actually the school that I requested information from. It's his school.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I haven't gotten a call back. I'm sure there's a lot of people trying to go there too.
Yeah.
But
Well, you got an alliance looks like near you also.
Yeah.
Alliance has got a good name.
Yeah. And there was a Militich school here, but that's on the other side of the city, so I
Okay.
ain't gonna
Yeah.
go.
I'm
I'll
looking.
go up there. I don't even know if it's still open.
Let's see. What is this school? Do. Something says missing information. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm recording this, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. I'm not gonna
No,
I'm not gonna tell everybody your location. Man, this one school looks fancy. Grappling zone.
yeah.
But I don't know who they're with.
Oh, yeah. Grappling Zone is not far from me either. And I forgot who. I don't know who runs that school. But one of my friends does train out of there sometimes, and his two boys go there. I know that they compete in tournaments. So
Well, it's clean as all get out. The pictures anyway.
yeah. So I mean, it's and the area that it's in, there's a lot of money in that area. So
Oh, well, it makes sense by looking at these pictures. Holy smokes. Super clean.
Yeah. So
All white mats. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, it's the city where it's in. They're the state football champs too, so there's definitely some money there.
Oh, yeah. Well, it looks nice. I got some,
Yeah.
I was hoping to see, bet they charge a pretty penny too.
Probably. I don't know. I don't think they have the prices on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, man, it's just an addiction, man. You end up like me.
Yeah.
Like, where's Chris at? Where do you think he's at? Yeah, because I train at two places now. So I train because my two instructors had decided to go down different paths, and so and it's pretty tough. It was like your parents, getting divorced. You gotta you don't want to shun one for the other. So my main my main one is still with Chris. I mean, that's where I get my rankings from and whatnot, and still under the Pedro Sauer affiliation. Todd is not under an affiliation now. That I know of. So he's a super legit black belt. He's probably one of the best black belts, hands down, I've ever rolled with. Extremely tough. And so, but I go over there and train because.
Who did he get his black belt from?
Now he got his black belt under Pedro, and
okay.
And so he didn't like the way, he just had a different style, so to speak. And so he wanted to run his thing more like a a club, I guess you could say, like a grappling club. A lot more down and dirty, lot more grind in the sessions, and
Yeah.
I go over there 2 times a week to get my grind on and
Yeah.
get the crap beat out of me, if you will, and
Yeah.
then I work more in a teaching role over at the other place. So I kind of get both. I get a chance to pass it along, and then I get a chance to get the snot beat out of me. So you
Okay.
know, so
Yeah, they're both equally important.
oh yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
it rounds
Yeah.
you out, I guess you can say. And so
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, different ways to learn. Can't guess you can't learn without some adversity.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you what, and I give this advice. I think it's great advice for anybody that's into grappling. You got to get used to that pressure. If you're going to be
Yeah.
a legit person in your rank, and it's what makes it humbling, is when you got
Hmm.
guys that are you're old enough to be their dad, and they're trying to take you down, and trying to beat the snot out
Yeah.
of you, and they want to
Yeah.
beat you. They want to beat you bad.
Yeah.
They want that trophy, and
Yeah. They do.
so it's humbling, and you have to fight them off.
Well, sometimes experience wins over time, right?
It does. Sometimes you just have to be meaner than them.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where experience can still come into play, though.
Oh,
You got
absolutely.
a lot more years and experience of being mean.
That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get back in competitive shape. That's
Yeah.
hopefully I'll do a good few tournaments next year. That'd be good.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that'd be good. I was watching that quintet event, and I'm seeing you guys like Josh Barnett, and Sakuraba. Misha Tate was calling this last one, and they had mentioned Marcelo Garcia, like how he doesn't do footlocks,
Mm.
uh, and I think that's what they said. He doesn't do footlocks or something like that. And but I'm wondering, I was like, I want to see Marcelo Garcia in one of these things. I want to see
Hmm.
how he does no gi against these guys, because there's not many that can roll with him at all. I saw, Eddie. We all know how good Eddie Bravo is, but there's a YouTube video of him rolling with Eddie Bravo, and it's like night and day.
Hmm. He
Between Marcelo and Eddie.
he's just a weird anomaly though, man, because he's not an imposing figure, and
No, he's not.
he's just I mean he's just good. He's just slick. But I would like to see him. I wouldn't want to see him get hurt, but I'd love to see him go with just a stud, like somebody that's just, you know, a lot of brawn, but knows what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And see how he can handle that, which I know that he probably can very well. I mean, obviously
yeah,
he's gone against some of the best in ADCC and all that good stuff like that, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, man. It's almost unfair. Uh, I'm like, fuck
It
these
is.
dudes, man. They just make it look so easy. And
Yeah,
and like a good friend of mine says, yeah, but they're also training 4 or 5 hours a day. Um,
yeah.
you know,
With the best in the world,
right?
you
And
know.
and so,
Yeah, yeah. Guys like Marcelo don't train with, you
like
know,
guys like
don't
me.
don't. Well, Marcelo, shit. I mean, I don't know who, but he rolls with. I imagine he rolls with the best. I can't imagine like guys, in Brazil. I think all the best guys. They probably all go to Marcelo and Hickson and all those guys like that.
Yeah, I don't know about
And
Hickson, but Hickson's kind of I don't know. He doesn't seem to like to train with too many people. Um,
I
it's
think
especially
he's
the
one of
newer
those.
guys.
Yeah, I don't know. He had something to say recently about the new black belts. I forgot what it was,
Oh yeah, he's caught a
but
lot of crap. He said the current level of black belts remind him of
like
karate black
the
belts.
tradition. Yeah, traditional martial art. Yeah, karate black belts, and
And I'm gonna stand out
yeah,
on a limb and say this too.
yeah,
This will cause some backlash. I will
yeah,
say that I have been in the last, I'm gonna say the last 4 years, 3 to 4
yeah,
years, I've been very disappointed with some of the abilities of the higher rank or the upper ranked guys in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. The purples, the browns, some blacks, from
yeah,
different schools, not from my school, but or from schools too close to me, but like
yeah,
some places I've trained at other places, and I've looked at them
yeah,
and I'm like, this guy's a black belt, this guy's a brown
yeah,
belt, and
yeah,
and and it's and I hate to say what he. I don't know if what he was saying. And what was funny is everybody that jumped on him were top level black belt guys. You know, like Tom
yeah,
DeBlass, Gordon Ryan,
yeah,
all those guys. You know, or it's like basically telling him, they respect that he is who he is, but basically saying fuck off. But I don't think he was talking about those guys. You know what I'm saying? I think
yeah.
I think he was. I really think he was talking about some of the guys, the no-name black belts that, they put time in, but, you might want to question, are they really black belts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's probably, a really big case of um, the expansion of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu throughout the world now, and it's kind of like the skills are, the technicalities are, and the fundamentals are kind of being watered down throughout the years. With it's like, with it was so tight knit in Brazil, and everybody was, training. The training was different probably back then, but now with its quick rise, I think it's a watered down effect.
Yeah.
They don't, everybody tries to be a lot. Well, shouldn't say everybody, but I think a lot of schools and stuff, they try to be flashy and and don't stick to the fundamentals and the
Well, here's the
or
hard thing too is
yeah,
and I like the slogan and I like what they're saying. I like what they mean, but the jujitsu for everybody.
yeah,
The hard truth is jujitsu can be for everybody, but a black belt is not for everybody. And
no,
I
no,
think where we run into is when people are paying money, you know, people and they've been a blue belt for 3.5 years, 4 years, which is a
yeah,
long
yeah,
time. I think instructors feel obligated to move them to the next rank because they put in time. Well,
yeah,
if you're just showing up to get a tick mark on your attendance card,
yeah,
some of the local arguments that we've heard
yeah,
is just because you're getting tick marks don't mean that you're a fucking purple belt, or whatever.
yeah.
And that's where you almost turn into the other martial arts schools that have become a joke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't disagree with that at all. There are some people who, I guess, don't get the that really don't get the art of martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specifically. That this isn't a real McDojo type. It's a weird, I feel weird using that term because I, took karate, but with Brazilian, with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coming into the United States, they saw, I mean, it really exposed traditional martial arts and how ineffective it was. Now it's different now because everybody's integrated, with all kinds of different styles. But yeah, then the people that are paying the money, I think they just want, that trophy, like it says, look how many stripes I got, or black belts, or why isn't my kid advancing? I pay all this money for what?
Yeah, because you don't want to tell them that your kid sucks. And
Yeah,
and that was the one thing for Todd. I have to talk about him. He's tough as shit. He's tough as nails, and his whole thing, his mindset is he doesn't make a living with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. First off, just to be clear, so his mindset is he would rather have 5 to 10 guys that are just tough as shit, than 40 guys or 40 people.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say guys, being inconsiderate, but because he trains girls as well. But but some places, it's about the numbers, and they're trying to get as many people in. But it's kind of going back to touching what you said on karate, and I'll touch on kickboxing. Can you imagine when Benny the Jet back in the 70s was doing kickboxing? Do you think that he would ever imagine there'd be like a fit kickboxing, or just the watered down? He's probably there's never in his mind would he probably thought that was, and that's an example of watering it down. I do. You talk to some girl, and I'm not down in the girls, because I know some girls that can kickbox like a motherfucker, but your average mom, your average soccer mom, I kickbox. Do you kickbox, or do you fit kickbox? And
or do you kickbox? Oh,
yeah. And so
you remember the Taibo thing?
Oh yeah, a Taibo.
Yeah.
Hey man, I tell you what though, Billy Blanks could have made a shit ton of money off that. I hate that he beat me to it.
Oh yeah, I definitely ain't mad at the man.
Yeah, he made a.
He certainly. I mean, I can't knock him for the fitness aspect of it. Certainly.
Yeah, and he did. But see, that's but that's the thing, and it was about fitness, and so it's like, I kickbox. Well, no, you don't. You do, but you don't. But can you use what you're using to defend yourself? Hell no.
Yeah.
And
no, you can't. And you're right. It's a lot of these soccer moms, at these legitimate gyms, just fitness gyms rather. Standing in front of a heavy bag, hitting it around. I mean, they're not really learning any type of real form or movements or anything like that.
But what's sad is I know some legit MMA gyms, guys that have UFC fighters that fight out of their gyms. But they got some of them ladies, the ladies want to be a part of it, and the thing about it is, these motherfuckers are broke most of the time, and these gyms have to stay open, so they have to cater to those, some of those crowds, and it's, I've always considered, I've helped open a gym, an MMA gym. I've helped, run another, been a big part of other ones and whatnot. And I always thought, well, maybe I'll open my own. And then I started thinking about, God, dog, the headache that I have to deal with, which route are you going? Are you going to be a true on fight gym? If so, most fighters are broke, especially the aspiring ones. And then the ones that are famous, unless they've been with you for a long time, they're not going to dip you a lot of money. They're famous now. They're traveling all over and training anywhere they want to train. And then you basically fill your roster of the young guys aspiring, or the soccer moms that want to be a part of something based off of their fame. And so, what a, it's really kind of a, you have to love it, and want to be at the gym all the time in order to take that leap.
Yeah, definitely. And it's weird, like all the different famous gyms out there and how different they are. Like American Top Team, they've got so many there, and but then you got, close knit gyms, or people that train together, like Black House. What they had, the Nogueras, they had Machida, Anderson Silva.
Hmm.
You know, that's an insane group of guys training together. I don't know how many people train there, but it wasn't very many.
No, but they
You
were
know,
all rich and famous and set in their ways already. So I mean, it wasn't.
yeah,
It was almost like it's almost like a
it's a
bunch of
private club.
yeah, it's almost like a bunch of guys that are that all play musical instruments and they're in different bands. Hey, let's go jam together to work on our shit. You know,
Yeah.
as funny as that sounds, we're
Yeah,
we're we're
well, I
we're
mean,
just
that's
gonna build a studio for us to to work on our
the
stuff.
training. Yeah, that's. I mean, but I can't. I mean, who? I mean, off the top of my head, who trains that American Top Team? Like Robbie, I know Robbie Lawler does, or he did. I don't know if he's still out there.
Well, I know when Marcus Brimage was down there, he,
Yeah,
I think it was tough for him, and I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, and I may be totally getting this wrong, but
yeah,
you know, I
yeah,
from the rumor mill was it's hard to get good one-on-one training or coaching when you're in a stable of studs.
yeah,
And I think that was the consensus that come back. And Marcus, if you're listening to this, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. It's just, the rumor mill that was said.
yeah,
But I think that's normal. I don't think that's reaching too far because anytime, you know, you, whoever's getting the most attention is whoever's the hottest right now, or whoever's got the fight coming
yeah.
up, or whoever's got the
Well,
whatever. And so that's why a lot of the guys will will stay in their home gyms, even if their home gyms isn't a world-renowned gym, because if they're smart, they remember who got them there, and they understand that they're
yeah,
going to get undevoted attention, to make them better.
yeah. Well, that's all the get the special attention. For for obvious reasons. Business purposes. Uh, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know how many guys John Kavanaugh trains, but I'm sure most of his attention goes towards Conor McGregor. You know,
Hmm.
and same way. Greg Jackson and Mike Wakeljohn. I'm sure Holly Holm and John Jones, and when Georges St. Pierre was, they're the ones with attention. Diego,
Oh, you're
when he
cutting
was
out
still
on me.
there.
Hold on a sec. You're cutting out on me a little bit.
All right.
I think when you get to talking excited, it throws my thing. I think
Oh, that's I'm throwing all that heat.
throwing that heat at me, man. It
Yeah,
was having a hard time keeping up with you.
yeah. It's and you know I should it's something that I really regret doing, or not doing rather, is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or MMA. Back in the day when it's when I first discovered it. My friend Rick worked at a Blockbuster, and he brought first 3 videos home, and we watched that. Man, I was hooked ever since. So, and I've only missed a fight live. Probably I can count the number of times, probably on 2 hands that I've missed a fight. So whenever I get to whenever I get to talk about it, I love it. So sometimes I get overexcited, and tell that the stuff I doesn't. I'm talking as a fan. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not somebody who, you know, I've rolled a little bit. You know, say that I'm an of the word. You know, but when I was working corrections up in Seattle, in the Seattle area, I trained with some guys who trained out there. So I've got experience with it, but you know, I'm strictly talking as a fan, you know, and I love it.
Yeah, we definitely next time you get out this way, have to have to get you out to the gym and roll with us.
I'm, I'm gonna throw up all over that mat. I guarantee it.
I got Will down.
I ain't.
I got Will in the home gym one time and got him to roll with me for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he had fun.
How's that?
I think he had
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Well, you still got that dummy down there?
Oh yeah, you know Matt.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my.
I mean, I can probably tap that dummy, but that's probably about it.
Yeah, he's very pleasant to work with.
Yeah, take out some frustrations.
Absolutely. And I got my friend's Harley's in the way right now. I got to get it moved
Yeah.
out of the way. I gotta start working with the dummy a little bit more, working on some different submissions I want to work on and polish up some old ones and all that good jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Sure,
man,
that sounds. I need to. It's something that I've always been wanting to get into. I just finding the time, and then plus just trying to working and everything else. Trying to build up my customers and stuff like that. So it's yeah, there's not enough time in the day to hardly do anything.
man, I hear you. Well, man, I tell you
Yeah.
what, shit, you realize we've been talking for an hour.
That one?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
wow.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pipe off here, so I'm gonna listen to this a little bit, and hell, I may even post this,
Yeah.
so be listening out. But we would probably
Okay.
get you to call in. I'll let you know. We'll probably get you to call in Sunday. Dave will be in,
Yeah.
and we'll get you to mess with him a little bit.
All right. Yeah, yeah. I did. At first I didn't know it was being recorded, so I don't even know how I sounded, or So I thought, yeah, I
Oh,
think after you told me, so
oh,
I hope it's a
oh,
I hope it's a good show anyway.
it's a good show, man. I appreciate you calling in. Gives me plenty of content and
Yeah.
yeah, man, definitely talk to some of them sexy senoritas for me. Maybe we'll get something going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got more than one or two that might be able to help out with that.
There you go. All right, man. All right, well, I'm gonna bounce off here, brother. I will talk to you soon.
All right, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.